I'd like to call on Brian Blankenberg, Senior Private Client Advisor and VP with Bank of the West, to give this week's Secretary report.
Good afternoon. I'm going to start off with announcements today. Don't forget to sign up for our offsite meeting next week, March 13th. We are going to be meeting at the Denver Art Museum, so please reserve today. We've got sad news. Rotarian David Dougal McDougall passed away February 27th after a long battle with cancer. He was a faithful member of Club 31 for over 21 years. Also, Rotarian Ed Crabtree's beautiful wife Sally passed away this past Monday. The memorial service will be at 2 p.m. Sunday, March 16th at the Trinity United Methodist Church over here on Broadway. In lieu of flowers, Sally asked that contributions be sent to Denver Kids or Trinity United Methodist Church. Her obituary will be published in the Denver Post this coming Sunday. Please keep the McDougall and Crabtree families in your thoughts and prayers during this difficult time. We've got 3 birthitarians this week. Larry Weiberg, happy birthday. Harriet Downer, happy birthday. And Bob Levers, happy birthday. Got a few potential Rotarians today. Start off with Julie Beth Freshman, and she is with United Healthcare as a sales representative in Insurance Solutions, and she is the guest of Debbie Kaufman. Welcome. James Gillespie has brought a guest today. Her name is Lynn Booth, and she is with Merrill Lynch, and she is a financial advisor. Welcome. Chuck Everill has brought a guest, Rick Dirty, and he is with Mental Health Center of Denver, and he is the Director of Development. Welcome. And lastly, we've got Larry Gloss's guest, and he works with Larry at Gloss & Company as a fundraising consultant. His name is Gary Bidney. Welcome. Quick little joke for you guys today, if my phone works. All right. Okay, everyone, said the instructor at the birthing class, trying to get everyone's attention. We're going to do an exercise now that's purpose is to help the men sympathize with their partners. We have here what's called a pregnancy suit, said the instructor, holding up an artificial stomach with a strap. This imitates the feeling of being pregnant. Which husbands volunteer to be the first? I will, said one man, taking the suit and trying it on. This isn't too bad, said the man walking around. I think I could get used to it. Okay, said the instructor, smiling. Now, I would like you to bend down and pick up my pen from the floor. You want me to pick it up? He said hesitantly. Just as I would as if I were pregnant? Yes, the instructor said. He turns to his wife and says, honey, would you mind bending down and picking up that pen for me? Thanks.
Thank you, Brian. Next, I'd like to invite Tim Sweeney, president of SIL Group, up for our networking moment. And Jim White let us know that his birthday is next week, and he won't be here. So I am giving a preliminary happy birthday to Jim.
Will Snyder's not here today, so he asked me to fill in. But before I share something with you, I have to correct one oversight at our table. We have Jamie Johnson and Jim Rohrer, who are the guests of Jim Johnson. So let's... Well, this is an anecdote, or really a little bit of a story about the power of Rotary and the power of the pen. I have a number of businesses, but one of the businesses I run is we we export product around the world. And this is an email exchange I had with, at the time, a potential distributor for this product in England. And they are the subsidiary of a U.S. company, which is how I got their name. And one of the questions the guy in England had for me was, has it been cleared with the headquarters in the U.S.? And I said, well, I don't know. I've contacted them, but we'll see how it goes. And he writes me back. He says, well, I'm going to do that. But if you notice at the bottom, he says to me, I note your Rotary involvement, so that stands us in good stead. And actually, this company went on to become a customer of ours. So it really brought home to me the power of the Rotary connection and what a global organization it is. And I would suggest that in addition to wearing the pin, you, in your businesses, if it's at all appropriate, that you publicize the fact that you are a Rotarian, because you never know how it will accrue to you. Come early, stay late, wear the pin. Thank you.
Now I'd like to invite Mark Donovan, our membership chair, for a membership moment.
Thanks, President Allison. I'm here today with a question for membership team. Not what do you know, but who do you know? The next few weeks, our membership committee will be introducing our latest initiative. It's going to be a new, very focused recruitment of executives of companies right here in downtown. We know that the best way to introduce candidates to the magic of Rotary is through you. We'll be providing a list of the candidates who we're targeting and letters of introduction explaining what our club is all about, but we need some help from you. In a couple weeks, over here, you're going to see an empty table, and it's going to have lists on it along with the question, who do you know? Please stop by when you see those tables out there. If you know someone on the list who's from your neighborhood, from your soccer practice, from gym, from your church, from your alumni organization, any kind of contact that you have with those people, if we could use you as our point of contact to those people that we're recruiting, we'd really appreciate that. We'll be sending an email and copying you on the email for the person that you're helping us recruit. And then all you simply have to do is give that person a call, send them a quick email saying, hey, did you get the letter that we sent about Rotary? We know that those kind of introductions and that kind of contact is what works most effectively. And we're delighted that your help. So thank you in advance on behalf of membership team.
Thank you, Mark. Next, I'd like to call on Don Lewis to introduce today's program.
Thank you. I'm here today to introduce a fellow Rotarian and friend, Sandeep Kapoor. He's Chief Executive Officer and franchise owner of Chick-fil-A Tamarack Square. Chick-fil-A, for as many of you know, is a premium fast food provider, and Sandeep's business provides this premium fast food from the Hampton Avenue location and also through a catering business. But before I introduce Sandeep, I'd like to introduce his guest today. First, we have Valerie Kapoor, his wife. Please stand, Valerie. Be welcomed. And then Sandeep also brought two leaders from his business, Dr. Ron Egan, MD, who is Director of Catering for the business, and Carla Dunaway Hinke, who's Director of Marketing and Community Relations for that business as well. Please stand. Sandeep is here to tell us his grateful journey of an immigrant story. It's fascinating. I've heard several parts of it, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. Sandeep, we are grateful that the journey that you and your family has brought you and your family to Colorado and brought you here to the Rotary Club of Denver. Please welcome Sandeep Kapoor.
Can you hear me now? How about now? Thank you. I don't know who Don was talking about. I don't know this guy that he introduced. My real name is Bubba Smith. And I was born and raised in the swamps of South Georgia. That's where I got my brown tan. So just sit back and relax. I want this to be an informal conversation about my grateful journey as an immigrant from India. And we can ask questions as we go along. A couple of our fellow Rotarians have volunteered to be there with the mics, so we can wait at the end, or if something comes to you, ask the question. I ask you not to get swayed by what may seem as accomplishments in life as you go through what I'm talking about, but the main purpose is to illustrate how fortunate and blessed I am that God has placed several people in my path over the years who have created opportunities for me. Carpe diem is all I did. And I am continuing to stay blessed, not only in Colorado, but in Denver Rotary, which is my latest Rotary journey. You'll have some laughs at my expense and see some strange fashions and ugly hairstyles in just a few minutes. This is my one-year birthday. Was very, very fortunate to be in a family with the Haves. I riding a little bicycle there. Much better looking than I am now, I think. This is our ancestral home. It was a 20,000 square foot home, 10 bedrooms, 5 acres, with mango and banyan trees. It belonged to an Englishman before India's independence. And it was bought by my grandfather and his brother. It was located what I would call like a Cherry Creek part of town. We grew up in a joint family, which means that my grandfather and his brother's family, both trees, were in the same house. So even though it's a big house, there's a lot of people, a lot of fun, bunch of uncles, aunts, cousins. Meal times were absolutely fun. My grandmother was the head of the table, and so it was a lot of fun. And Valerie has been to this house. This has been demolished at this point because as developers have taken over, and there's a huge multi-story complex there. My great-grandfather had the first car agency in town in the 1920s. In my opinion, they were fairly entrepreneurial at that time. My grandfather and his brother started what is called the Kapoor Transport Company, similar to a smaller regional scale Greyhound for the U.S. My father or his siblings didn't go into the family business, so it perished after 10 years upon the untimely death of my grandfather at age 55. My father became a civil engineer and in the Indian Railways. My mom raised the family, a pretty typical Indian family. Education is valued very highly in India, as you can see with Professor Nanda right here, as well as the question is, usually there is, are you going to, the question is not if you're going to a university, it's which one. My earlier years, I went to St. Mary's Convent Elementary School, a Catholic school, continued in my private school through the 12th grade, and played, and you'll see some of these. This is my mom and dad. My dad passed away a couple of years ago at age 82. Many of you may have seen my mom. She was here when I was introduced. Don had been kind enough to have us over, and that was their wedding picture. This is, again, some early pictures. I played badminton, table tennis, cricket, represented the district, state, and only once at a national level. This was captain of the badminton team. Fairly ugly pictures, so please feel free to laugh. It's okay. This is a 12th grade class picture. Most of these are professionals. The guy in the, let's see if I can point that. This guy right here he's one of the world's leading neurosurgeons. He is based out of New Delhi still. several doctors here, several engineers. Um, so to continue from high school, graduate from high school, one appears in a statewide or national exam that usually lasts 2 weeks long. In my case, if there happened to be about 500,000 students who sat for the exam. Results are published 2 months later in a newspaper like you see here, with only roll numbers, similar to Social Security numbers that are published. Here, you can't see this. All these are Social Security numbers that are published. This is like 10 pages long because of 500,000 students. Highest scores, the first are published in the front of the page, and then it keeps going down. The back pages is the third division. And obviously, you don't want to be in that. And if your name or if your Social Security number does not appear in this 10-page newspaper, guess what? You failed. So, and then the merit list is the top 10 people who score in that entire national or statewide exam. And sometimes the merit list is only separated by 1 point. So interestingly, all my friends, when I appear, it's all my friends, and we gather in the summer afternoon when the newspaper comes out. It's a supplement. The name of the newspaper is Indian Express, and they publish a supplement, and we go look for our roll numbers, our Social Security numbers, and everybody finds theirs in first division, and I can't find mine. So I'm reluctantly turning to the second page. Don't find it. Third page, last page, can't find it anywhere. That's really concerning. I was not a bad student. I was a decent student. I really thought something had gone wrong. So my heart was sinking as we were turning to the other pages. And it turned out to be that and I'm going to turn the slide to this, one of my friends happens to see my name in the merit list right here. You probably I can't even read that, somewhere right here, as 9th in the state or in that exam. So I was very, very blessed. A sigh of relief, almost had a heart attack that I could. So that next trophy is the merit list trophy, but noteworthy is the ridiculous shirt and the posture. Thank goodness that the fashion pundits didn't adopt this style. So this was for the merit list. So after that, I go off to engineering school at Birla Institute of Technology and Science. It's a sister institution of MIT at that time. These are the pictures. This is an aerial shot of the campus, and this is one of the main buildings right here.